How you doing? My name's Aaron Brown from the Garage Shop in Denver, North Carolina. I want to thank you for coming back to our channel and checking some stuff out. It's been a bit since we've done an update. I don't know, probably since before we went to Daytona. So we're going to do a little quick update, and we got some really cool stuff coming up. First update is we got our 3D printer, Stratus 450, up and going. This is some of the prototype parts that we're building here. This is a spindle for the streamliner, and we'll go over and show you where this goes. But we got some validation models here. We're doing some outside work for some people, so if you need anything 3D printed, let me know. We got a couple little things. This is a model we made of the F1 fire trucks that we did in conjunction with ESI. We're doing some upgrades to it, so we kind of rough printed out this little model here so we can go on to our little Gen 2 fire truck. So along with that, we also got 3D Creaform scanner now from 3D Dynamics, and we're bringing that online so we can do, the engineers here can do a lot of reverse engineering. You name it, we can build it. The technology in this 3D printing, especially this machine, same one that SpaceX uses, is just mind-blowing. Really cool stuff. I don't understand it, but we're going to do a video with the engineers, and they're going to tell you what's going on with that. But come on out to the shop. Give a little update on the Corvette. We got the body back on the chassis. The cage is in, and really interesting backstory to this. Derek Kearns, our shop foreman. Interesting backstory. This is one of the first cars that we completely built in SolidWorks. One of our junior engineers, Dylan, designed the cage. He worked real close with Derek, which is our shop foreman on the production floor. So they came up with this cage and built it in SolidWorks, and then this entire cage was completely built on the fixture table, and then parts of it, sections of it were welded together. Then they were put in the car. Now with this being a unibody car, we had some challenges to overcome to completely weld the cage in the car. And one of the things we did with SolidWorks, we were able to design this cage so we could lift the entire body of the car up once the majority of the cage was in the car, and really get in and weld everything really nice on top, and then the whole thing sat back down on it, because it's all fiberglass floor, and we had to go through the floor to the frame for the cage. Derek's here working on the seat now, and I'll let him give you a little update of kind of where we're at construction wise. We're working really hard to get this ready to go to Bonneville in August. So here you go, Derek.
Yeah, the cage was nice doing it that way. We was actually able to put in a couple pieces, the X bars. I got to be completely together, weld those on the bench, set those in the car first. Then the middle section with the funny car bars, I got to completely weld those on the bench and put those in the section. So the majority of that welding stuff we actually got to do out on the table on the fixture when we built it. And then we put the other pieces in and finished welding those together when we lifted the body up, which was really nice. We was able to get all that stuff done and figured out and notched on the table. It saved a lot of time putting it together in the car. But now we're working on the seat. I've got the floor cut out here. We lowered the seat down an inch to give us a little bit more head clearance. So I'm working on that now. I'm putting the bottom mounts in, and then a floor pan back in, and then we'll get the seat mounted. And then, as you can see, we've got the trans tunnel, drive shaft tunnel cut out here. This transmission's bigger. We put in drive shaft loops for safety to keep the drive shaft contained. So all that stuff, we have to redo all that and fabricate our own tunnels and everything. So that's what I'm working on now. Once I get the seat mounted, we'll get all those tunnels mounted. The only things on the cage left to put in is the door bars. We left those out just so they're easier to get in and work on it. And then we got to finish this side of the funny car bar once I put the seat in and figure out where that goes for the headrest. So that's what we're working on now. We added the down bars to it up there. We got our mock-up engine in so we can get all that finished. We got a few more bars to put up there, a bay bar. We're fitting all that. We got a oil tank we're going to put in on that side right in the wheel well here. So we got all those things done, then go over to the body shop and we'll get that stuff done. And once we get back, we'll have a motor to put in it. We'll be getting this thing buttoned up pretty soon here.
Yeah, it's going to be like a big fabrication party. There's still a lot of work to do to get this car. Basically, we got to have it loaded first week of July there, because we're going to go out to Pahrump with Wayne and probably take our Roadsters too right before Bonneville and do a little bit of testing prior to Bonneville. And speaking of that, our first event's coming up, the Arkansas Mile, May 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
7th.
First week of May there.
Vance is going to take the GT40, and also his son Kyle's going to run the Viper. And big shout out to Kyle and all them guys from Goobers Garage. The last 2 years, year and a half, we've been doing a aero development program for the Viper ACRs that was particular for their style of racing, the drag racing and the roll racing. And Kyle's first event was TX2K. And it was his first competition event like that in that particular car, 2,000 horsepower Viper, built by the guys at Calvo Motorsports. So we all went down there together and just had a really good time. We validated a lot of the aero stuff that we did on the car, and we're real excited about moving forward into production parts for those cars with the aero stuff through the guys at Calvo Motorsports and Goobers Garage. Really good friends, and we like working with them, and the future's pretty bright for all three companies moving forward with that stuff. So that's a little update on that. We'll go over here, the Roadsters. We went back to the wind tunnel. So the Roadsters, we went back to the wind tunnel again. We basically took my car as we ran it out at Pahrump during the test, and it pretty much validated what we did before. When we had it at the wind tunnel prior to Bonneville, there's still pigs. After Pahrump, we changed the wheel and tire package. We lowered the car, did a few other little things. Really didn't pick up a lot. We did a study on the parachute in the back. We had to build a really neat apparatus that moved the parachute all around, up and down and sideways, and didn't really find much. I mean, pretty much these cars are what they are. I don't think they're going to get any better. But, you know, the way they drove at Pahrump, I think we're in good shape. We went to a little bit lighter wheels in the rear, a little bit smaller tire package, kind of get them tucked down out of the ground. We came up with a new rear spring package to help with the lift, the separation, because these cars have dirt late model bird cages and a 5th and 6th coil with a torque arm. So the back of the car actually picks up as it's driving the rear end into the ground a little bit. So we're trying to work on timing and stuff on our aero maps, try to find that real sweet spot where these cars don't make so much lift, and, you know, kind of a trade-off between that and drag. So, you know, so we got that. We took Vance's to the chassis dyno here a few weeks ago. That went real well. Roush 8's engine built by Nick Ramey, well over 800 horsepower at the wheels through a quick change. So that was real promising, real promising. The GT40 by Cav, we got over here. Max is over here working on this. He's having a good time. This has been his baby, and I'll let him tell you about this a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a challenge, but it's coming along. We've got the motor, transmission all mounted, and got AC installed, working on things like making sure everything's, I've nut and bolted everything, went through the fuel system, and got the brakes all bled out and the clutch bled, so everything's functioning. So we're on the home stretch now.
You even had it spinning over earlier today.
Yep, we got oil pressure.
Fuel pumps are all working.
Yep, everything's working.
So we got a few little bridges to cross with Doug. Doug's going to build this. It's going tomorrow to get a set of stainless headers built for it, and we're waiting on the shifter cables from those guys out in Arizona.
Right.
So closing in on it. This is one of the cars that we're going to try to take this to the wind tunnel on April 20th and see what an actual GT40 blows in the wind tunnel. So that'd be pretty interesting.
Sure.
You know, if you guys think you see if this thing's making drag and downforce and stuff, and, you know, go ahead and put in the comments down below what you think it's going to be in drag. Closest guy to the drag number will send you a free sweatshirt. How about that? That'll be fun. So honestly, I don't know what it's going to be. I haven't really looked at it.
Be interesting to see what it does.
I think this car, I think we're going to be probably in the 240 range in drag. Maybe making a little bit of downforce will be pretty neutral. I don't think it's going to be anything earth-shattering, you know, downforce-wise. But sure. I'd say my guess is around 230 to 240 in drag, which is pretty sporty. I think. So we'll get Dylan to come out here with the scanner. We'll get an actual, we'll do a 3D body scan on it and get an actual frontal area on this car so we can get really accurate numbers. Over here we got the Pro Mod going. These guys have been, Bobby and his crew's been hard on the gas with this. They're getting the body mounted. A lot of little detail-y stuff. This car has a few more things to it. We'll go over here and look at the interior because we're not using it for a drag car. We're using this car to test all the electronics for the Streamliner. I think it's over 300 channels, I believe, last I heard. But this car is going to be used at Bonneville and El Mirage to do some testing, to gather some aero stuff, make sure to get all the electronics working, so when we go over to the active aero and everything on the Streamliner, that we'll have kind of some experience with it. We're closing in on this here. Our brake system, brake and clutch and everything's just a little bit different than what, you know, an NHRA Pro Mod would be. We're running dual master cylinders with a balance bar and some different stuff with the clutch. It's a Liberty 7-speed transmission, so should be real interesting. And whenever we're done doing the testing with Bonneville, I think this is going to be a drag and drive car, and I think you're going to be real surprised, hopefully, at what the engine combination for the drag and drive is going to be. We're going to do a couple different packages there with Steve Morris, and that's going to be real neat. And speaking of Steve Morris, he put up some really good videos on his channel, Steve Morris Engines, about the Noonan Hemis that he's putting together. They got the first one fired up, a few little bugs along the way, but it stayed together and it made some really good horsepower for the little bit they ran it. We're super happy and super excited about moving forward with that. Oscar from Zelaya Brothers is working on some electronic stuff for that particular package. So those guys are doing a fantastic job in conjunction with our engineers here. It's quite the project to get one of these things to run for 5 miles. You know, so those guys really dug in, did a lot of internal changes, cooling and oiling, and it's just, they're addressing all the problems in the right way. But you know, this old hot rod here, we're getting ready to go, and hopefully late fall we'll be testing this car out at Pahrump on the dirt and see what we got, and then we'll take it to Arkansas, run some half-mile stuff with it, and just start getting used to a lot of these new electronics and air shifters and things that we genuinely don't know a lot about, but we need to learn it real fast. So that's what this car is, kind of a teaching aid for everybody here to learn that, and for the outside groups that do know it, for them to come and you know, teach us about it, and we'll get everything sorted out with this hot rod here. But for now, I mean, that's pretty much what we got going. We got a lot of projects across the street. You know, they're building the 71 K&K Dodge, the short track car. We're getting ready to fire that up, hopefully early next week. We're going to take that up to Hickory Motor Speedway with the family members, and we're going to have a little picnic day and let those guys, you know, take a little spin in that car around the track. So, you know, Bobby Isaac's grandson and Randy and Wayne Bumgarner and Junior Setzer and all those guys, we're going to go do that. And we did reach 10,000 subscribers, so we're going back through and we're going to give away that free trip here pretty soon. And Wide Slammer, if you're out there, I really appreciate you commenting on all our videos and all the support, and we're going to give you 2 tickets to the race of your choice, NASCAR race of your choice. So, and then next week we're going to give away 2 more tickets. We got six sets of tickets to give away. So Wide Slammer, we're going to put a little thing in our community board, so keep your eye on that. If you're a winner, shoot us an email, shoot us a message. We'll get you signed up, get you to that race, and you're going to have a wonderful time because you get to go meet the mayor, Drew Patey from Safety Clean. That's always a good time. So that's pretty much what we got going on here, guys. We're going to do something a little bit more comprehensive. We've been to the wind tunnel. We went down to Daytona, supported Roush Yates Engines at one of their company events with the Sonny King, Donnie Allison Ford tribute car that we built. The K&K Dodge, the wing car that we did with Labware, and Vance Kirshner with that car got to make a few laps. If you go in our section on shorts and YouTube, that car got to run the parade laps for the modified race at New Smyrna. And we also did some stuff with the United States Motorsports Association and eBay Motors down at New Smyrna Speedway. They had a really nice cookout. So big thanks to Sean for inviting us to all that. We had wind tunnel tests. We had all kind of stuff. We're doing some stuff in Louisville, Kentucky for Safety Clean. We'll be up there Saturday at the truck show, the big giant truck show. I was up there yesterday dropping a car off, and that truck show was pretty impressive. A lot of neat stuff there, so we're looking forward to going back there. And we got Arkansas and El Mirage coming up pretty quick. We're going to get into our racing season, and we got Bonneville's right around the corner and all kind of fun stuff. It's going to be SEMA before you know it, and PRI, and it's going to be a busy year, and we're going to keep you guys in the loop. So thanks for following us. Thanks for, just taking part and the comments and everything. It's been great, and we'll keep trying to do this as we can, when we got time, but I'm going to try to make a little bit more time to keep you guys in the loop. Thanks for everything, and I'll see you next time.